Check this out.
Welcome to Optic Tea with LonnieB, the online talk show which connects you with people all over the world.
Go ahead, be great.
Hear about their successes, failures, and the journey taken to bring them to where they are today. Now, let's listen to Optic Tea with the host, LonnieB.
Check this out.
Welcome to Optic Tea with LonnieB, the
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Optic Tea with LonnieB. It is me again, back another week. Have an exciting lineup for you tonight. Just want to let a few people come in, so be sure to tag a friend, text a friend, tweet a friend. Be sure to tag a friend, text a friend, tweet a friend. Go ahead and do it. As you know, tonight we'll have comments that will be coming. You can post your comments, you can post your questions tonight. So be sure to come in and share, share. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Hello, Ty Alexander, the Thai Couture. So yes, so hope everyone had a good week. Just letting a few people come in. And we'll go ahead and get started for tonight. So welcome everyone to Optic Tea with LonnieB. Tonight's show is a lineup. We will have two dynamic ladies. We'll have Prophet Shalonda Williams and Rosalind Long, who will be talking about their journeys tonight. So I definitely am excited about that. But before we do, let's go ahead and take care of a few things. Tonight, we will have, want to talk tonight, want to say this month, for the month of March, is the Lupus Awareness Month. And we want to celebrate those who have lupus awareness. If you do not know, in the United States, 9 out of 10 adults that have lupus are women. And there's also over 5 million people who have lupus. So of course we celebrate those with lupus. We celebrate with you, and we also will always continue to pray with you and for you as well. Also, for tonight, there is a scholarship. If you know of a young woman who is an African-American high school senior, Girl Under Construction 2 is giving away a scholarship to a senior that is a female who has experienced unexpected trauma, or is a teen mom, or has had a tragic loss, but kept pushing. She definitely qualifies. It's a $1,000 scholarship giveaway. The deadline, they do have to submit a 500-word essay, and the deadline is March 31st. If you'd like to receive more information, please visit Optic Tea with LonnieB on Facebook, Instagram, and my YouTube channel, as well, to get information about the founder and owner of Girls Under Construction 2. So please, there's no demographic limits. It is given to a $1,000 scholarship. She does not have to be going to college. It's just one who actually satisfies those three things. So please, if you know of a young lady who's an African-American high school senior, please share this information, as we always want to give back to those who are in need and who are well-deserved because of their perseverance and endurance. One that's close to my heart tonight, congratulations to the DeSoto High School Ladies Eagles. I'm actually doing my show, and they are actually on the court in San Antonio. They are playing for the UIL 6 State Championship. So congratulations to the DeSoto High School Lady Eagles. It's a great day to be a DeSoto Eagle. So for tonight, before we get started, we also celebrate Women's History Month. And I'd always like to start with the quote. So tonight's quote will come from Tracy Ellis Ross. And her quote is, "It was when I realized I needed to stop trying to be somebody else and be myself. I actually started to own and accept and love what I had. That's a woman's quote from Tracy Ellis Ross. So thank you, Miss Ross, for that quote. That's very deep because it is always important that we know who we are and who we are meant to be. So when we come back from a commercial break, we will actually I'll introduce our first guest, Prophet Shalonda Williams, and she will be coming in to share, and we'll talk about her book as well as the things that she has going on. So, of course, we'll be back in a moment. Thank you. And we are back. That commercial was one of our supporters, FFG Fragrance. Fragrance for God by Universal Purpose. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. They will be launching their product line and their products in the next coming month. Actually, the month of April, they'll actually be coming out. So please be sure to be on the lookout for Fragrance for God. It is a unisex fragrance. I have tried it. I personally love it. So, and if I love it, LonnieB, then of course all of you should actually embrace it. I hope that you do. But it has truly been a ministry of Desmond Patterson. So be on the lookout for Fragrance for God coming soon. Let's talk about our first guest tonight. My first guest, she is a certified life coach. She is an ordained minister. She is an author. She is a speaker. She is the one who actually helps people find themselves through her first book, a journal entry, and I'll let her share with you her upcoming book that is coming. Her first book that we'll be talking about is Nah, I'm Not Okay. So excuse me while I unmask. And so for those of us who know about the unmasking as women, as we celebrate Women's Month, we know what it's like to have to unmask. So everyone, please help me welcome tonight, Prophet Shalonda Williams. Hey, how are you?
I am excellent. How are you? You look beautiful tonight.
Thank you. I clean up well when I take a bath, huh?
I know that's right. Listen.
Yes, beauty is my name. How are you?
I will not complain. I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to be present and able to chat with you tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know you have a lot going on. I know you have a new book that's coming out, but we'll get to that. But talk to us a little bit about Shalonda Treasure Williams.
Well, there's a lot to know, I guess, and I'm honestly one of those people who don't really like to give my own resume, give my own bio. It's really hard. I'm still learning how not to be boastful, but I am all those things you said. Certified life coach, best-selling author, inspirational speaker, ordained minister, prophet set aside to do God's work. Recently elevated to the office of an apostle, and so that's kind of a whole nother deal. And I'm just me. I'm just me. You know what I mean? Like I'm the mother, I'm the fiance, I'm those things, but I'm really just the one that wants to see people free and find the treasure in themselves.
Wow. So let's back up a minute. So I've been hanging out, and I shouldn't say hanging out. I've been visiting Clubhouse. Do you have an Apple phone?
I don't, but let me say, I just brought an iPod so that I'm able to get on because all my spiritual daughters are like, Mom, you got to get on here. So.
Yes. So I've been hanging out in Clubhouse, and there's two rooms I've been hanging out in. One is the Butlers, and the other one is House of Investments. So House of Investments is ran by Pastor Thaddeus Douglas out of Alabama. I want to say Mobile, but don't quote me. But his room, well, let me tell you, when y'all are in that fivefold ministry, y'all take that stuff serious. I mean, they know the history. They have a whole bunch of alphabets. Are you PAW? I was like, wait. So I've been getting educated. So, as a So being elevated to apostle, what does that do for you where you are right now in your personal journey?
Honestly speaking, God just had to bring it to my attention that I was already living it. I was always just kind of that one that says, God, I'm going to show up and do whatever you want me to do today and
Uh-huh.
be whatever you want me to be today. So whether I'm coming as the evangelist, whether I'm coming as the pastor to love on them, whether I'm coming to prophesy, or whether I'm coming to build, either way, I'm just yielded. And so when he said it was time to be elevated to that office, it really was more so just a changing of a job description, right? Now I'm here to plant. I have to plant churches now. I have to ordain other ministers and pastors and teachers and train them and just in the way that they should go with their ministries. It doesn't make me feel any different. You know what I mean? I feel like I just want to show up as he needs me today. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Whatever that
It
is.
does. Exactly. Hold on, Shalonda. So they're asking you if you can turn your volume down just a little.
Oh yeah, of course. Is that working? Let me see if you can hear an echo.
No, just I think it's just that it was kind of loud, but I think you're good. So some of the guests were just saying, "Can you ask her to turn it down?" So I don't know if it was kind of muffled or not, because I can actually see comments from all the guests,
Okay.
and so they had just asked to turn it down. So hopefully Marlage will let us know if
Yeah, is
that's
that
working
better?
out. Yes. So yes, I do understand. So that's exciting. So when did you actually become ordained as an apostle?
So you don't go through ordinations for everything, but you do
Okay.
go through pronouncing and announcing. And so I did go through the ordination to be a minister really covers everything. You know, every um, denomination has their own way of doing things.
Mhm.
But technically, once you get ordained as a minister, you can be then installed as a pastor, pronounced as a prophet, announced as an apostle. But the prophet and the apostle, they don't necessarily get ordained. It's just the announcing of this is what you're doing, this is your commissioning, and just go ahead and get it done. And God actually, um, my sister, which is my covering, she said it, announced it about a year and a half ago. But on one of my WeFlow, I have a WeFlow virtual conference every month. And this past February, God just he's like, listen, okay, no more stalling, no more running, no more none of that. Let's just do this thing right now. And the way he did it was so spectacular. There's still a service coming, like a laying on of hands and things like that. But he just did it in the moment. He's like, there's no turning back from this. So I had some apostle friends and an overseer friend of mine on that live that night. And they were like, no, God said, this is what it is. This is what's happening. It's confirmed. That's what you are. No going back. It was like that, literally, within a whole 3-4 hour span. It was done.
Wow. Perfect segue into let's talk about your first book. Nah, I'm not okay. Excuse me while I unmask, because I read your book and it seems like you're actually fulfilling that, nah, I'm not okay. Excuse me while I unmask. It's a series of journal entries because in there you talk about how you journal since you were, I want to say 6, or I think it said 6 or just a kid. But there's some interesting journal entries that I do want to focus on. But tell us, how did you come about with writing Nah, I'm Not Okay?
So technically, now I'm not okay. It's probably around my 9th or 10th book. And it came out in 2019.
Uh-huh.
Um, so my ministry is already very transparent. I'm a very transparent minister. I don't hold back from people because uh, they don't already feel like they can relate to many people. They feel judged. They feel condemned. They feel like, can I really be honest? So this was more of like my psalm. You know what I mean? David was like totally transparent with God, able to say whatever he needed to say, but still reverenced him as father. Right. And so this was like
Uh-huh.
my psalm. I'm writing my truth to you because this is how I felt at the time. and this is how many of people still feel right now today, and they don't feel like they're able to share it. You know what I mean? Pastors
Right.
dying and committing suicide, and people dying because they can't say, "I'm not good." No, I'm not good right now, and they don't feel comfortable enough to say it. So God gave me permission, and I was like, "Okay, I got this. I got this."
Right. So when you wrote it, and how did you come about selecting your different chapters?
Huh. Yeah, because there's so much more to life than what's in that book, right? There's so many other things that have happened since I've been born, right? So what gives me those subjects? I believe it was the fact that it was things that were going on in the world as I was writing, as I was pouring out, right? Many of the people that I'm coaching deal with a lot of these issues and circumstances, and so it just made it easy. Starting from the 6-year-old incident, going to the bullying incident, going to sexual addiction, going to not really knowing about my dad. It was a whole bunch of things, and most of it is just stuff that people go through in their everyday life, and they don't know how to deal. They don't know how to be honest and say, I need somebody to bring me some clarity. You know what I mean? God, why weren't you there at this moment? God, why do I feel like I'm by myself in this situation? And so we wrote it. We wrote it in sequence because people are dealing with those things right now today still, and they don't feel comfortable enough to be able to express it.
And you're absolutely correct. In my book, I talk about, was it the fact that they didn't know, or they wanted to turn their head and their eyes and say, oh, that didn't happen, or that didn't exist. So that very well. But I want to talk about, there's a section in there because you talked about the beginning of the things where you were violated as a young girl. But then there's also a point in, I think it's section 2, where you talk about you may not understand. And as reading it, I thought that it was going to be a way out for you, only to find out that you were not, because you had the opportunity. I'm thinking you all moved or relocated, but only to find out that you were still treated as an outcast or an outsider because of your mother's skin color. You had long hair. So you went from being violated as an individual to now coming over to being bullied. Talk to us a little bit about how did that make you feel, and was your family still turning a blind eye to everything that was going on with you?
I don't even think that my family was trying to turn a blind eye. I didn't express any of it, and I dealt with, they loved me. My family loved me. And so when it came to them, it was like, they thought it was just everyday life, oh, it's gonna be all right. This is how you handle it. I think with my mom, instead, she just taught me how to be the individual that wasn't the one that was bullying me.
Right.
Be the better person, be the bigger person type of situation. And so going from place to place, going from school to school, having to be the new kid all over again, and dealing with a mother that was so optimistic and happy-go-lucky, and continue to love, continue to be this, continue to be that. It was hard. It was hard.
Right.
So then I started fighting.
Do me a favor, Shalonda, because the guests saying that they really want to hear what you have to say, but you have an echo, and I think it's because you're in the car. Do you have earbuds by chance?
In the car with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I hate that y'all can't hear me.
I know, because this is some good stuff. Hello, District Attorney Faith Johnson. So while you're looking, do you have any?
Not in the car with me, I don't. And I think I can hear the echo too.
Okay. See if you can turn your volume down just a little bit more.
Yeah,
don't you love technology? Y'all, for those who are tuning in,
you know what we can do? If you want to keep talking for like the next 2 minutes, I could definitely go get it.
Okay, perfect. That I'll do. Okay. So everyone, I love technology. I love live. You get to see the raw, uncut, unedited versions of everything. So while she's doing that, I want to just reset the room again. Look, I sound like I'm on the clubhouse. Sound like I'm in Pastor Thaddeus's room. I want to reset the show tonight. I want to, for those who are just tuning in, you have tuned in with Optic Tea with LonnieB, and tonight I am sharing and I'm getting up close and personal with author and minister apostle Shalonda Williams and uh, Mrs. Rosalind Long, who both will share their stories. One who has a book and one who actually has a consulting firm. But don't leave us because there's a lot of information that we want to get up close and personal. But for tonight, I want to, while we're waiting on Miss Williams to come back, I want to say hello and give a few shout outs to people who have signed in. Thank you for listening. And while I'm doing this, if you have an opportunity, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, Optic Tea with LonnieB. If you don't know how to get to the link, all you have to do is go to my Facebook page, Optic Tea with LonnieB, and the link is there. I would love, love, love to have you stay in the touch and stay in the know with everything that's going on with Optic Tea with LonnieB beyond just the Optic Tea with LonnieB talk show. So tonight, William Dotson, Dave, hello, brother. Just want to say hi. Dave says, praying for all those who have this disease. God bless. Earlier tonight, we gave a shout out and a love to those because this is Lupus Awareness Month. So we gave a shout out to it. To Pastor Thaddeus. Yes. Hello, Pastor Thaddeus. He's on Clubhouse. Those who have iPhone, if you go to Clubhouse, please check out the House of Investments every night at 9 p.m. and every morning at 9 a.m. And also, if you'll go to the Butlers, be sure to subscribe to the Butlers. I definitely know one solid show is the Butlers. I Am More Than Enough every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. But there are other shows that they do have. Shalonda's back. We're going to run down. Hello, Shaquan. Hello, Kim. Hello, Miss Rochelle. Miss Wanda. Miss Wanda is the one who provides me with all my jewelry and accessories. Kane Conversation Pieces. If you ever need to be accessorized, please reach out to her. You'll find her information on my Facebook page. And Miss Sylvia Guerrera, one of my sisters. Miss Barbette, hello, hello, hello. And we'll be touching back with a few more. So let's test this sound out. Miss Shalonda, you back with us?
Yes, hopefully it's working. Is it? Because I can still hear echo.
Can you? Let's see
I
what they
can,
have
but
to say.
yeah.
Okay, let's see what they have to say. We'll
Yes.
wait to see if a few of them will say, if they can. So we were talking about a little bit from going from leaving your old community where you were being violated to actually coming to a new community where you thought that you could get a fresh start. So you want to pick up from there?
It was so many of those times. I moved a lot. I went to 5 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, 2 high schools, right? And so I was always the new kid. My mom was a great, my sisters and my brothers. I'm the youngest of a lot of kids. And so, and it's like a gap. So it's between like 8 years to 20 years that they're older than me. So I kind of almost grew up as the only child in a sense. And so it was tough because I was loved by them, but I was rejected by so many others. And I think that just kind of came with the fact that people were so used to having their circle of people that having somebody new come in, especially a girl that's so loving and nice, you got to now try her out. You got to try her. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what happened to
Right.
me many a times over. Um, but my mom, again, she taught me how to be the opposite of that. For a while it worked, but eventually I started fighting back, and then I became the angry teenager and all those different things. So it was tough. It was tough learning how to be who you are while at the same time trying to establish who you don't want to be. Does that make sense?
It does. And so from that young girl, how did that carry over into your adult life?
Um, I still fight for the underdog. You know what I mean? I think it made me that person that wants to fight for the bullied and the molested and the hurt and the ones with low self-esteem and the sexually addicted and the drug addict and the alcoholic and the one who all these things have a root to them. You know what I mean? Everything has a root. There's somewhere where it started, and it makes me want to be the one to assist God, because I can't do it by myself. I can't do it without him, but to assist him and to yield to him and helping them not to be the victim forever. You know what I mean? It took me
Right.
a long time to break out of that space of feeling like the victim. Why me? Why is this happening? Why is it happening to me? And then when I finally broke out and when my self-esteem began to increase, it was just my heart's mission to just help other people to feel the same way, like liberated and free.
Right. So, with that, is I know that that was part of the catalyst for your book. So, what are you doing beyond your book? What have you been doing now to actually reach those young girls or women who have gone through some of the things that you fight for the underdogs for? What are some of the things that they can actually reach out to you for? They can solicit you for? Do you have any programs? What is it that they can do to actually reach out to Shalonda Williams?
So man, there's so much that's in the works for it. But as the certified coach, I literally just put myself out there for them to get coaching. And many of people are afraid to even invest in themselves to do it. So I've given away so many free things, but I'm live very often. I'm a spiritual mom to many of those girls. I'm kind of the mama to a lot of people, even my daughter's friends and people who just come along. I just make myself available, accessible. Does that make sense? So though I am a
Yes.
coach, a certified coach, I lend myself to that. As a matter of fact, I just had a 3-day workshop called Make Whole My Soul. So, we have the different workshops. We are always present. My inbox stays full with somebody having something they want to discuss or pray about. But I'm their friend. You know what I mean? It's like, can we just
Absolutely.
have a conversation? Even when coaching with me, most people leave feeling like, man, I just had a conversation. And it's the truth. We just have conversations because sometimes people just need to talk and get it out. And so I'm just accessible. There's a stage production coming in July surrounding the book. So we're making ourselves available on media and media outlets because people like to be entertained. But I don't just want to entertain them. I want to make their story known. I want to make their story sound off. You know what I mean? I'm
Absolutely.
telling your story, and so I make myself accessible. I offer life coaching, and then I'm full time in ministry, so I'm always available for prayer and conversation.
Awesome. So if they want to get in contact with you, how do they?
You can go to theinspirationaltreasure.com. That's where you can get the book. That's where you can communicate with me, and also just follow me on all social media outlets at Inspirational Treasure. But that's without the I in the front. But that's on
Okay.
Instagram, that's on TikTok, that's on Facebook, on YouTube, and even on Periscope.
Okay. Awesome. And the same if they want to reach you for speaking engagements or to
Yes,
find out what's going on as well.
yes.
And so,
In the in
what
the in the
are,
website there is a I. On social media there isn't
okay.
one.
Okay. We'll make that correction and we'll post it correctly. And so, you have a new book that's getting ready to come out, right?
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about it in 2 minutes. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Own your glow. Own your glow. When this new year started, I did a live. I go live on Tuesdays for PIP time, which is prophecy, inspiration, and prayer. And then I go live on Wednesdays, midday, midweek for treasure and inspiration. And so I was on live with one of those, and God began to speak to me about the glow. He began to talk to me about the glow that comes with being in love, right? And he was having me share my story about my process now. I just got engaged, and that glow that just, radiates right when you're in love. And so then he
Right.
began to talk to me about his viewpoint of us, how much he loves us. And so God's glow is God's love lenses, his outlook, and his witness of us. And so it's time for us to learn how to own it so that we can just live this life and really just shine, man, because It's time out for people thinking that they're not loved enough by God. Seeing yourself through somebody else's lenses will cause you to feel like you're nothing at all. But when you see yourself through his love lenses, it's everything. It changes the game.
Awesome. Well, let me tell you this. Now I know why you have a glow. Congratulations on the new book and congratulations on your engagement. Please let me know when the wedding is. I would love to,
Okay.
send a special token of thank you and congratulations and blessings to you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, y'all. If you're just joining in, I have been getting up close and personal with Apostle Shalonda Williams, who is the author of Nah, I'm Not Okay, but excuse me while I unmask, and her upcoming new books. Be sure to check her out on all her social media platforms, as well as her website of theinspirationtreasure.com. So please be sure to check her out. Miss Williams, do not leave because we will have our next guest come up. But before we conclude tonight, I'm going to bring you back up so you can actually offer some words of encouragement and to the listening audience. People in the audience, if you're tuning in with Optic Tea with LonnieB. Please don't go away. Up next, you will hear from Rosalind Long as she talks about from 9 to 5 to hustling to prison. It's one that you don't want to miss. I guarantee you that. From 9 to 5 to hustling to prison. So stay tuned. Don't go away. Just go step away, go refill your teacup, and come right on back. As you know, as always, LonnieB has to pay the bills. We'll be right back. And we are back. For those who are tuning in, you're tuning in to Optic Tea with LonnieB. Tonight, we just had an opportunity. If you missed it, you can always catch the recording on Facebook, my Facebook page, Optic Tea with LonnieB, or on my YouTube channel, Optic Tea with LonnieB. Just had an opportunity to sit down and chat a little bit with Apostle Shalonda Williams as she talked about some things that she has going on, as well as her new up and coming books, and as well as her most hot item book, Nah, I'm Not Okay, but excuse me while I unmask. So please be sure to check her out. Now, tonight's show, just want to let you know, our sponsor for tonight is Snatched Fitness by Ernestine. Be sure to check her out on Instagram. She is actually rolling out her online Zumba classes. $5 per class. You can't beat that. Get in shape, everyone. I know that I will be there every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of us in Texas, it is 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to find her and get in for more information, please reach out to Ernestine on Instagram. And you can find out more information. So thank you. I always welcome my supporters. I thank you, Ernestine, for supporting Optic Tea with LonnieB. Also, we have FFG Fragrance. If you missed it, he will be coming out next month with his fragrance. Fragrance for God is a unisex fragrance. Please be sure to try it out. I was one of the testers and I love it. So now, what we all have been waiting for, I met this lady in 2008, I believe. And just to see the journey that she went through from 2008 to today is phenomenal. And so you wonder why I say from 9 to 5 to hustling to prison. You just don't have to wait until you get to hear from her. But it is phenomenal. Rosalind Long is a young lady who has a story to tell that will inspire anyone who has gone through any major life change that turned in a matter of seconds. And then God came back and restored what man thought that should have never been restored. But God said, watch me work. So everyone, please welcome tonight with me, Rosalind Long. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am great. How about yourself?
I am doing good. I love that purple on you, royalty. Yes, ma'am. So, Miss Rosalind, so I just told the audience a little bit about you, but I want you to tell us a little bit about Rosalind now, the LNS consultant.
Okay, so the now would be, as you stated, the LNS Consulting, which was actually kind of got birthed while I was sitting at home recovering from COVID um, and on leave from work. So God just kind of just was speaking to me and just said, it's time. Um, I had some journeys, been through some things, prior to this. Um, so it's not ever been uh, me, so to speak, the time, want to punch a clock, work for somebody else, so to speak. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. Um, and so that is kind of how LNS came about. I've been in the mortgage industry, finance industry for 20 plus years. So that is where my background is. So just and wanting to love and, I get to help people and know that you're helping people versus when you're in corporate America, you're doing a job. You have a job description and that you're in a box, so to speak. And with LNS, there's not a box. I can be out of the box and make sure that I am helping people.
Absolutely. And I know that you do that well because it is your passion. It is something that you have been doing since I've known you. And the same zeal you had then is the same zeal that you have now. So, what services does LNS Consulting offer the people?
So we offer anything we do financial consulting. We help small businesses get their LLCs filed to make sure that they're in order. You can't have, if you don't have the proper paperwork, you can't even start your business. You can't open up a bank account. So just kind of guiding them with that. We do one-on-one, making sure that your credit's in order. Are you interested in doing business credit so that you're not having to use your personal credit? Um, kind of gauging, where you are there, helping you, guiding you through, the steps to take to rebuild your credit, the steps to what you need to do to build your business credit, resources for its funding, resources for if they need somebody for marketing, if they need somebody for financial planning, we have resources for all of that to be able to help everyone.
Awesome. That is good because during this time, there are so many people who are launching new businesses. COVID has brought out the entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurial mindset of a lot of people. And so you just hit on a few things, DBA, LLCs, a lot of people don't know what all is needed to get the foundation in place. So definitely we will, your services are needed, especially at this time. So I know that information can be found, but also how can they reach you if they want to talk to you about LNS Consulting?
They can actually contact me at 214-282-2235. That is actually my direct cell number. Or they can actually email me at lnsconsultant@gmail.com. And those are the ways that they'll be able to reach me in regards to LNS.
Awesome. So now, are you through being nervous? Because now we supposed to get to the nitty gritty, right? So you'll understand why she's nervous. This is exciting. I cannot wait to hear because I've heard bits and pieces when we talk on the phone, when we talk in passing. I've gotten snippets, but tonight. So from 9 to 5 to hustling to prison. Walk us through that journey, my sister.
Oh boy. Okay. So my journey kind of started with me originally being working in mortgage, going from working in mortgage. Well, while working in mortgage, I was not in the best uh, state of mind, so to speak, because I didn't love me. So when you don't love you, you tend to make bad decisions because you don't understand your worth.
Mhm.
So was in a relationship. The entire relationship, I'm not going to sit and say the entire relationship was a bad. All of it was bad, but of course, the part where the abusive part was bad. Um, but again, had I loved me, then I would have made different decisions. So often I tell people, people do what you allow them to do. And so when you're not aware of your worth, then things happen. But I also know that, God has a plan, and his plan is always a bigger and better plan than what we can even imagine in our little minds. Um, so doing things that I shouldn't have been doing things that were uh, illegal, basically. And so those things landed me, even after making a change and moving forward in my life, so to speak. Uh, but as grandma would say, you got to pay the piper. Um, so I ended up uh, with a federal prison sentence. Um,
Mhm.
and so that federal prison sentence allowed me the time and the opportunity to further spend closer, get closer with God, and to just love me, to deal with my issues, to deal with issues that I had in my life. And, because I had nothing but time. So you make good use of that time rather than, it to me, it would be a slap in God's face to say, okay, well, you're on this journey, you know, I've allowed it. And so what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do about it? You know,
Absolutely. Now,
so
you talk about you had nothing but time but to get closer to God. But now I know that during that time, there was a person who was with you that whole entire journey, your pastor,
yes,
and he never left you. He never gave up on you, to my knowledge.
no,
And from then to now, he's still in your life and he continued to pour into you, even in some of your darkest days and your brighter days. And even that day when that door said, and you can come home. Am I right?
yes. You are
Okay.
absolutely correct. I tell him this often when we talk and when we meet, which we do more often than not. Seems like is that he's rare, and people don't. Some people don't appreciate rarity. Some people don't understand. And when you begin to love yourself as well, you understand that I am not common. So I'm not going to allow you to treat me as such. Um, and so even though I've learned those things, that is also one of the other things that he often reminds me of, when we talk, you know, and I have to remind him as well, because sometimes I think he doesn't realize that, you know, people don't understand what they have in him. You don't find many pastors, and I cannot leave out my first lady, uh, because of course I think, you know, with every good man, there's a good woman beside him, and not behind him, but beside him. And the love, that they have, shown me and poured into me, has made a big difference in my life. Um, from them not just, sending me. And it's so funny because just last week I was going through some things that I had when I was on my journey, and I had a book, uh, that First Lady had sent me when I was there, Discerning God's Voice.
Wow.
And so oftentimes I go back and I pick up things just to refresh, hey, okay, we can never have enough of his word. We could never hear enough of his voice, of him speaking to us, because that should be who we want to tell us, which way to go and when to go. So I often go back through things because, hey, if it spoke to me, if he spoke to me then why would he speak to me again?
Absolutely.
So
tell me, how long were you confined?
45 months.
What?
45 months.
Wow, that time flew by. Because I remember us talking. It did, because I remember us talking, and we were talking about things, and then all of a sudden, boom, you disappeared. So I thought you took a Facebook hiatus, and then I didn't see you around the city, and I was like, oh, okay, well, she'll be around. You did those. You were working with Todrick with the Epitome magazine. There was so much going on. But I'm going to pause for a minute, because I have someone who would like to say hello to you.
Hello, Rosalind. And thank you guys so much for having me be a part of this wonderful broadcast. I am indeed honored to be here. Let me just tell you that Rosalind is the epitome of, of, of God's grace and God's mercy on our lives. One of the things that I absolutely love about her is her willingness to take responsibility for her own actions, not hold anyone else um, hostage for the decisions she's made, and to live up to God's creed in her life. She has been an absolute blessing to the body of Christ. I'd like to say this and I'm sorry if I'm going too long, just stop me.
No,
But
go right ahead, Pastor Ray.
when I was thinking, and thank you so much for inviting me to be in the great years of the Bible, I believe that Rosalind is in good company. If we remember, Joseph went to prison. Daniels went to prison. The 3 Hebrew boys were in prison. Let's go to the New Testament. Peter was in prison. Paul was in prison. So I believe that prison has a way of bringing out our passion. It does not kill us. It makes us strong. And I tell you, Rosalind is my right hand at the church. She helped me. I'm a city councilman in the great city of DeSoto. She's my right hand there. And we are very, very, very proud of her and her comeback. This is her comeback period. And I am great. My wife and I are so blessed to be a part of her life.
Thank you, Pastor Rosalind. You can talk to it.
I'm speechless.
So she didn't know Pastor Bird, so it was a pure surprise. I always do surprises when I can. So she didn't know that you were coming. But I knew that you were an integral part in her life, because when I worked at Golden Gate with Roderick, I learned of Pastor Bird. I learned of the discipline and the man of God that you were. I learned of the love that your members had for you and your wife. I learned of, that, you preached and you lived holiness. So, and then I met Rosalind outside of that, and then just to, see the life she lived, and to see, and I, some people say, oh, well, she went to federal prison. I say, no, she had a pause in her life.
That's right.
It was just a pause. So I thank you so much. I thank you. I know that you're in the middle of a meeting. Rosalind, if you're together, you can say anything you'd like to Pastor Bird.
Pastor Bird knows how I feel about me and First Lady. Like I said, they're rare, and you can't treat people that are rare like that. You can't take it for granted. They have truly been a blessing to me, and to be under their leadership, is just, it's just God's grace. I knew from the first time I stepped in the church, God said, "This is where you belong." So to know that I am where I'm supposed to be, where I'm supposed to be serving, uh, under someone who lives the life that they actually preach about. Um,
Amen.
Bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Bird.
Thank you for having us. God bless you. Have a good night now.
Thank
God bless
you.
you. Bye-bye. Now, Miss Rosalind, let's pick back up. So yes, so I was saying, I just thought you took a hiatus from Facebook. And I was like, okay, where is she? What did she do? Only to find out, and I didn't find out until I think I saw you back on Facebook. And I was like, where have you been? And then we talked and you told me, and I was like, oh my God, because no one is exempt from anything.
No.
The journey that God has for us, the life that He has for us, we have our will, and it's our will or it's His will. And at the end of the day, if we even choose our will, He's still going to have His way in the end.
Oh,
So those
absolutely.
45 months that you were in there, just a high level overview. I know your emotions were everywhere because I think one day you were here, and I think you shared with me how many days they gave you to get yourself together before you actually had to go. Am I right?
60 days.
60 days. And so in 60 days, your life changed from being free to being free, but a different kind of free.
Yes.
So what was that like?
It's not a journey that I would have said, oh, okay, it's okay, I'm going to prison. But I am so thankful because had I not had that journey, I would not be who I am today. Like I said, that journey allowed me the opportunity to deal with issues that I had, so dealing with those issues, strengthening my relationship with God. Um, and you get to see when you are, as some people would say, down and out, so to speak. You find out who is for you. You find out who your true friends are. You find out how people are going to act. You find out if people are going to react differently, because of it. So. Yes, I had, Pastor Bird and First Lady, but let me tell you something. I have a couple cheerleaders. I call them my cheerleaders. uh, but I have a aunt and uncle that has poured into me all my life. When I tell you, through the good, the bad, the ugly, uh, they have been there, for me and with me. Um, Visitation, I never went without a visit.
Awesome.
So having good family support, was obviously a great help. Um, doing the journey. It could be, I don't care if it was ice, and bet it was coming.
Wow.
I mean, even if I say, hey, they say the weather's bad, and she's like, no, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Um,
That's that unconditional love.
yeah, she was coming. I can't. She's been such a blessing in my life of being the other person to be there for me, to encourage me, even when I didn't love me. I remember, the distinct conversation having with her, and she's saying, when you realize that you're the Jew, you'll make different decisions.
And in those
You know,
45 months, you
uh,
found the joy.
yeah. So, and even in prison, yeah, I went to federal prison for 45 months. But when I tell you that I had favor in prison, it was nothing like. I mean, first of all, I was at a prison. I was at a women's federal camp, so I was not behind bars. So there was
Okay.
no clink. Um, we were we were housed in an old Motel 6. It's on the Navy base in Fort Worth.
Okay. Carswell.
Yes, I was at Carswell. So it was not a situation where, um, I mean, you're out, so to speak. The only thing is you can't go home. Um,
Mhm.
but, going to prison, meeting some of the most extraordinary women,
Mhm.
not ever thinking, well, I'm going to go to prison and make friends. I mean, I actually have bonds with these ladies uh, that we are close. I mean, we talk almost sometimes on a daily basis.
Wow.
Would I have thought that's something that would have happened? No, no. Uh,
Mhm.
but we were there. We encouraged each other. We were there for each other, and we still are. Uh,
Right.
because a lot of people think that prison is a death sentence, so to speak. That is the end of your life. That there is nothing, you can't do anything after prison.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, going to prison and when you try to come back out, because of the restrictions in regards to having to still deal with the federal system, are there restrictions or are there limitations on what type of employment you're going to find? Absolutely, absolutely, there
Right.
is. But you have to know that that's still not the end of the road, because whatever God has instilled in you, use it. Use it. I mean, I have a voice. I'm not limited because my God is not limited.
Amen.
So does that mean that I have to stop and work on a mediocre job? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I mean, God, that's not what God wants for me,
Right.
because He wants me to be able to help people. And how can I help somebody if I'm stuck in a rut?
Right.
No,
You're right.
I'm not supposed to be able, I'm not supposed to be limited, and that's what so often I think that's what happens, in the church and with people when people have a problem with church, because they're looking at, okay, well, if you're feeling that way, if you're so down and out, then what kind of God are you serving? Nobody would want to serve that type of God.
Absolutely. You're
You know,
so right.
no, no,
Right.
no. I mean, prison, yeah, I couldn't come home. I was only there physically, but I was at peace because, when I would talk to the other young ladies and try to help them, I had to explain to them, this is temporary. This is
Mhm.
not the end of it. This is not life. This is not my life.
Right.
I'm on a journey and I have to do what God has called me to do. So before going to prison, before I got sentenced, we have what we call at New Covenant MIT, which is Ministers in Training. Well, um, I was actually in the class when I got sentenced.
Wow.
So pause,
And I
because
want you to pause right there. I want to know, because we've run out of time, but I want to know, can I bring you back so we can pick up from this pause? That was the perfect segue,
yes,
because you will set so many people free, not just from a physical prison, but from an internal prison. Because the things that you're saying, You don't have to be confined because of a judge's orders. Sometimes we get there because of life's happenstance.
Yes.
So I want you to come back, and we're going to do from 9 to 5 to hustling to prison to breaking free. I just put that part out there, the breaking free. But for the listening audience, we have truly run out of time. I want to bring both of them back up. You all know Rosalind will be coming back for a part 2. But before we leave tonight, and thank you all for those who are staying in, hanging in there with us, please, Rosalind, Prophet Apostle Shalonda, please leave us with some final words of encouragement or empowerment to the listening audience. And we'll start with you, Prophet Apostle William.
Listen, it's okay. Either title is fine. We're just here to really just do the work of the Lord. And so, actually, my words of encouragement would really just piggyback off of what Miss Rosin was saying. I was sitting here in the background and I was like being so encouraged. And one of the last things she said is that I was only in prison physically. And the first thing I begin to think about is the prison of the mind that many of us still live in, whether it's from our addictions, whether it's because of the time we did serve in a physical prison, whether it's because of limitations that were placed on us as we were growing up. I just want to encourage you, like she said, just because you were physically there, now you have to begin to live as if you are free. There is no restriction in God. And as much as we try to put restrictions on people, I need you to understand that the choice belongs to you. Your relationship with Him is everything. And when you get into that relationship with Him, you'll begin to find freedom that you've never known before. We are not signed up to wear masks, to suffocate, and to be in physical or mental prison, but we're here to be free. So walk in your freedom in Jesus' name.
Thank you. And of course, if you want to find out more, you missed the part where I spoke with Apostle Williams. Please be sure to go back to my Facebook Live or my YouTube channel, you can actually review and share the show tonight with anyone, as well as you can find out how you can actually reach out to Apostle Williams if you'd like to talk with her, become part of her program, purchase her book, or even allow her to speak into you and into your life. Look, I sound like I'm at the church. Final remarks. Sister Rosalind Long, what were the final words of encouragement?
Oh my goodness. Well, I would probably remind everyone to make it a great day on purpose. And
wow,
we have to be intentional when we wake up in the morning that we are making sure that we're making our days great, regardless, in spite of whatever we're going through, whatever we think we're facing, whatever we were dealing with the night before, whatever that could have been, could have been a plethora of things, could be we got money issues going on, whatever it is. But remember, make it a great day on purpose, because why? You are enough.
Thank you. Ladies, Apostle Williams, Sister Long, I thank you ladies both. Tonight has been a remarkable show to learn about you ladies, and I know we only scratched the surface. So Sister Long, you'll be coming back for part 2. We're going to talk about from prison to jailbreak. So I cannot wait. Apostle Williams, when that second book comes out, please be sure to reach out to me. I want to bring you back on so we can talk about that one as well. To the listening audience, thank you so much tonight for tuning in to Optic Tea with LonnieB, where we find the hidden jewels and gems within your area, where they are willing to share their journey and their trajectory of their life, and also the realization of the successes and failures. So always be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, so you'll always be in the know. And until we meet the next time, remember to smile. You owe it to yourself. Have a good night, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Optic Tea with LonnieB. Until next time.
Thanks for watching another episode of Optic Tea with LonnieB. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Stay connected on and off the show by following Optic Tea with LonnieB on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.